dear students, welcome to the Faculty Driven Institute Resultant. Hope you guys are fine. So guys, in today's Sunday Ka Funda video, I'll be showing you some practical things which might has happened to your home as well. So what is this? Let's check it out. Okay, come on. Guys, this is a slab of home and you guys can see these patches. So let's focus here. इसको थोड़ा पास से फोकस करते हैं. Let's focus. Okay. So now what has happened? You can see it here also is there, and then you can check it out that here also it's there, and at multiple places it is there. Now comes the question that why this has happened. Okay, so the slab casting has been done, and right now you can see that here what has happened, the bond between the cement and sand, that is the mortar, has been breaked. Why? Cement and sand mortar has been separated. Number one question comes, why does it happen? Number two, if it has happened, how can we just basically what is the remedy so that we can get back the ship again? And third, what should be the precautionary measures to be taken so that it doesn't happen if we are casting it in any other places? So number one reason for having these things, when basically the bond between the cement and sand has been weakened and they have been separated out, as you can see it here. The first reason is that at the time of basically casting, when you have done the concreting work, proper water cement ratio has not been there. So there has been a miscalculation in the water cement ratio. Because of this, you can check out this situation. Okay, fine. That could be one thing. Second reason for this can be proper curing has not been done during the construction time. Okay, since proper curing is not done, so you will say, ma'am, what does curing has to be done? If you haven't done proper curing, what will happen? Eventually, the water will evaporate, and again, after a certain period of time, you can see micro crackings being developed. Third reason can be if fatigue loading happens, then also you can see the bond between the mortar, that is the cement and sand, will break. But this is a slab, so chances of fatigue loading is not at all there. If it could have been an industrial roof, then you could have chances of fatigue loading. Now comes the question that if you don't want these things to happen, what should you do? You should do proper compaction, proper water cement ratio, and proper curing needs to be done. Fine. But now it has already happened. Now what should we do? See, if you just take a mixture of cement and mortar and if you'll fill it, no use at all. Why there is no use of them? Because again, eventually over the time you will see that old cement and new cement doesn't form a proper bond, and again you will see the cracks going, and again the bond will break. Okay, so there is no use of it. Then what we should do? See, in this portion, just focus here. Focus. Okay, so in this portion what you can do is, first of all you can just dig a portion of it here. Okay, and you can provide we say it in Hindi like nali type, you can provide it. Okay, so that you can do, that is one of the option. Or the other best and practical option is you can provide a wire mesh here. Okay, so wire mesh we provide in Hindi, you call it as in the masons language you call it as murga jali. Okay, so you provide a wire mesh here. Okay, and after that pour the mortar. So why, ma'am, why a wire mesh? Because eventually over the time when tensile stresses will develop, because definitely shrinkage will occur. When shrinkage will occur, tensile stresses will be developed, and when tensile stresses will be developed, this wire mesh will take all the tensile stresses and the bond will be strengthened out, and so you will not see any cracks being developed. Okay, so eventually if this is happened to your homes as well, so if you are constructing any other homes, mind it, the reasons for it, and if it has already happened like you can see it here, so I have told you what is the remedies which you can apply. Now let's go to the studio to check it out that what temperature of water should be there for curing and what should be the proper water cement ratio. Hello my dear students, so I guess you have seen that if you have not seen proper monitoring of the slab casting, or you can say proper water cement ratio, proper curing is not there, then what happens? So we have seen that. Okay, so let's talk it about that, ma'am. What should be the water cement ratio, each and everything? Let's talk about that also, so that you can get an idea much better. And before that, guys, it's a resultant, our faculty driven institute. So share the session, like it, and do subscribe it as well. Don't know about me, can go through my profile. And guys, this is the table which is there in your IS 456 2000 as well. So mild, moderate, severe, very severe, extreme conditions, exposure conditions, what should be the minimum water cement ratio? If it is a plain concrete, what should be the maximum water cement ratio? What should be the minimum grade of concrete? It is being mentioned. Yeah, the things which is being mentioned and the things which practically happens in the field, they are poles apart sometimes, but yeah, this is the one which should be followed, because guys, this has been based on the observations, based on the practical field conditions. And you know that if just for having the sake of good workability, if you add more amount of water, you can say the strength, the stability will not be that pretty much good. Okay, so these are the exposure conditions, plain concrete, reinforcement concrete, and what is the minimum grade of concrete is being mentioned to you. Reading it doesn't make sense, so you guys can go through it. Now, the other important thing which I have to tell you is the temperature of water. Generally, you think water is there, what to say about the temperature? They have an advantage and disadvantage. Technically, they will have pros and cons. Now, if you have a low temperature curing water, because obviously when the construction is done, you need to do the curing. Generally we do it for 28 days, right? So what are the advantages? Let us suppose low temperature curing water is there. So actually the hydration process will be low, okay, slow basically, and the curing time will be extended. However, in a long run, the durability, the strength will improve for sure. But here the best part is the cracking risk eventually over the time will reduce, okay, and the thermal stresses will also be reduced. Apart from that, hot weather conditions, obviously when there is terrible heat, which right now also we are facing it, so the risk of thermal cracking and all eventually lessens down when, if you are using a low temperature curing water. But everything has pros and cons. Disadvantages, obviously, the curing time will be extended, right? So delay will be there in the strength development part. And then obviously, if the construction work is going on, you have to provide form work for a longer duration of time. So the construction cost. So with respect to economy point of view, it will increase. Okay. Next, if I talk about is if you are using a high temperature curing water, again, in the previous case, low temperature was slowing down the hydration process. Vice versa to this, a high temperature curing water will speed up the hydration process. It will accelerate the strength. Okay, so faster construction projects can be done. Apart from that, curing time, which was being increased in the previous case, it will be reduced here. So labor cost, economical, form work removal will be early. So it is a good situation. After that, it is beneficial in cold weather conditions also, because here the proper curing temperature will be maintained. Okay, but it has a disadvantages also. The thing is, when you are using low temperature curing water, it was reducing the risk of thermal cracking. But when you use a high temperature curing water, it will increase the risk of thermal cracking. Okay, eventually the final strength will not increase, it will decrease. The durability will also decrease. Okay, so that is the reason. And eventually if the temperature becomes very high, it will not be controlled. So if you use low temperature, hydration process will be slower down, but eventually durability will be more, final strength will be more. But if you are using high temperature water, eventually thermal cracking will be there, final strength and durability will be affected. Okay, so it is very very important that you have to, whenever you are doing the curing, so it's not like water hi to hai, pani hi to hai, nahi, it also matters whether you are using a low temperature curing water or a high temperature curing water. Okay, so that is the reason whatever curing water you are selecting, the temperature of it, that depends upon the conditions, environmental conditions, the concrete, it depends upon the requirements of the projects, it depends upon all those conditions. Okay, but I want to ask you one thing. Answer me in the comment section that what is the ideal temperature of water in India we apply for curing. Okay, so what is the temperature of water in ideal conditions, or generally the practical conditions? You can tell me that so and so should be the temperature of water for curing we do it. So let's check it out. I'll wait for your answers and then I'll reply and pin my comment. Okay, so that's all for today guys. I hope you liked today's Sunday Ka Funda video. Practical conditions, practical field conditions, told you the remedies of it. So we'll meet you in the next section. Till then, thank you and do subscribe to our channel. And if you want me to make videos or any more thing, feel free to comment. Thank you guys.